So I'm recording this because I feel like I'm getting a lot of information and I don't want to forget. I am a psychic medium channeler. It's been a while since I've channeled, but I've been meditating for 2 days, and not even that long, maybe like 15 minutes every day for 2 days. And I'm starting to get downloads and I'm starting to get messages again, and it's exciting because it's been a year since I do get messages, but not for the collective usually. Usually it's just for personal, for people around me. Anyways, don't need to get into that. I need to concentrate because the message was very important. Living in the now. Okay. So, woke up and I was getting messages, downloads, remembrance. It's a remembrance that is happening to me, and I'm pretty sure to a lot of people, is remembering our gifts, our talents, what we're here for. With this remembrance, for me personally, I'm remembering to live in the now. Why is it important to live in the now? Living in the now is the most important thing we can do as humans because it will make us match our frequency. We will go to our frequency when we are living in the now. How can we live in the now? When we make art, we're living in the now. When we play, we're living in the now. When we are doing anything that requires our presence to be present. So when we are performing, when we are playing, when we are dancing, when we are doing all these things, it requires us to be in the now, right? It's not like having like concentration for say, but it's being present, your presence. The more we practice being in the now, the more we are in our frequency, okay? Returning to our frequency is important. Why? Because returning to our natural state, our natural frequency is love, is play. And when we are in that frequency of love and play, then everything else will naturally flow and everything will just seem magical and seem like, wow, life is worth living, right? And so many of us are stuck in not living in the now because we are so addictive to just zoning out, scrolling on our phones, even when you're working, like it's just like remote, like we're just, the mind is not being happy, the mind is not playing, the mind is not being free, expressing creativity. So when we express our creativity, when we are in the now, when we are flowing, it's like you're a child again at play, right? When there's this moment of like expression, creation, fun, laughter, whatever it is for you, because for everyone it's different. Some people, it might be being a comedian and just cracking jokes, like that's your expression of freedom, of being in the now, of, you know. And for others it might be art, where it's like being in present for me is art, you know. For some people it's literal art. For me it's more crafting. When I'm crafting, I'm like, oh, I'm in the now, I'm in the zone. So creativity is important. It's important for us to go back to play. It's important for us to go back to living in the now. The more you live in the now, you'll realize when you are not. And when you are not, it's time to go back to living in the now. Living in the now can be so easy when we meditate, right? Just focusing on our breath, on our being present, and being aware of ourselves, of our body, of our mind. That is a different kind of living in the now. And that takes a little bit more practice, right? But it could be very simple, of just watching our breath, breathing consciously, being present. You can start off small like that. But there's so many of us that are here for more. And we're being called to play. We're being called to go back to being our authentic selves. And that requires us to play. That requires us to express ourselves in different ways. So, for those of us that are here, that feel a calling to reach higher consciousness, this is what I was hearing, to reach higher consciousness, to evolve as a new frequency, as new humans, as new earth, as new this, we have to play. Playing, expressing ourselves, creativity, it is all part of going back to our frequency, to our original frequency, which is love, which is fun, which is play. What I got download was that our core frequency when we came to earth was love. When you were born into earth, your frequency was love. It is our natural state, is love. So as we get older and we're being taught and all these things, the mission is to return to love, to return to the frequency that we were before we were taught, before we were conditioned, is to return to love. That is the mission, is to return to love, to our frequency. So, in order to remember our frequency and remember love, is through creativity, through play, through expression. Because once your needs are met, once you feel love, once you feel creativity and expression, happiness and joy, and you're being in that frequency, then it's so much easier to return to love, right? It's so much easier to be like, I'm happy, I can be loved now, right? But happiness is a state of being, a state of mind. And it's easier to get to that once you're in your frequency of creativity and play. So I think that was the main message that I was getting, especially for people like me, is that creativity and being in the now. Being in the now is the most important thing. To practice being in the now consciously. Consciously remember to be in the now. So in order to do that, you have to do it through play first. Creativity. Expression for myself. Because that's how is the easiest way for me to be in the now. Is when I'm creating, when I'm doing, when I'm art, dance, anything that requires me to be in the now will put me in the now, that I'm happy, that I'm joyful, and then it's easier for me to be back to love, the expression of love, the highest frequency, my natural state of frequency. Then everything that is meant for me will come to me. When we are in love, Doesn't everything just seem magical? And just like, oh my god, everything's going just perfect. Everything's just easy. Everything just seems to flow, and it's like magic in the air and flowers. Okay, you can create that for yourself without another person being involved. With love, with just returning to the frequency of love, with creativity, with the self-expression, with, and I know many people are gonna be like, I don't have that much time, I don't have, make time. Make time. That is self-love. Make time for yourself, to make yourself happy, to do something that gives you passion, joy, expression, and you will return to love, and the frequency and everything else will match your frequency, and you will just be able to get the abundance, get the freedom, get manifestations to flow easily. Everything will just flow. And that is the message I was getting. And it's a beautiful message, and I hope it resonates, and I hope that it will help others. Much love.